So good afternoon once again. We are starting with this chapter, the revision of this chapter, the Tiger King. The Tiger King, the hero of the story, the name was Tiger King because of the obvious reason, the reason you all know, because he vowed to kill 100 tigers. The reason is the astrologer's prophecy. So he wanted to put that astrologer's prophecy wrong, and for that he took a vow to kill 100 tigers. Let's study his whole life. So, Crown Prince, a 10-year-old baby who later became the Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram. When he was 10 days old, the chief astrologer, the royal foreteller of the state, told that this boy who is born today will be killed one day or will have to die one day. And the boy speaks that day, when he was a 10-day-old baby, he speaks out and he says that how is this possible? Fine, this is no prophecy because anybody can say this. He was also right. This is no foretelling of fortune. Anybody can say this, that whoever is born has to die. So there is nothing new in it. So if you can say something better, the way you can suggest how am I going to die, that is going to be good. Everybody is disturbed. Everybody is, you can say, taken aback. Okay, how is this possible that a 10-day-old baby is speaking so much? And even speaking, in fact, fine. And the chief astrologer, the royal foreteller of the state, says that you will be killed by the 100th tiger. And then the story proceeds. So, first of all, we talk about the characters here: the Tiger King, the Crown Prince, the chief astrologer, the royal foreteller of the state. Rai is the chief leader in Tamil. The British high ranking officer, the secretary, the Diwan, chief administrative officer of the Maharaja, and the wife of the British ranking officer, Durasani, the wife of the high ranking British officer, a greedy woman who takes all the 50 or so diamond rings which were given to her. We'll later discover how. So we talk about the gist of the chapter first. The Maharaja, Sir Jalali Jingjing Bahadur, was called the Tiger King. When he was 10 days old, he was asked he in fact spoke. He asked intelligent questions to the astrologers and was told that he would be killed by a tiger. He uttered, "Let tigers beware." That's a big thing for anybody. 10-day-old baby speaking something is not a very normal thing. It's a hyperbole, and this is smartly used by this author. No other miracle took place. The child grew like any other royal child of India, drinking white cow's milk, that is the British, the cow which belonged to the Britishers, the foreign cow, taught by an English tutor, looked after by an English nanny, and watched English films. You can see how nicely this crown princes looked while they were quite young. When he was 20, he was crowned as a king. It was then the prediction of his death by the tiger reached the Maharaja's ear, and he, in turn, to safeguard himself, killed the tiger. And being thrilled, he told the astrologer, who replied that he can kill 99 tigers but should be careful with the 100th. So he began killing tigers after the prediction was to be proved wrong. That is it. Now, what happened is when he was kill tigers, but the king refused him. You cannot kill tigers in my country. And that high ranking British officer said, "No problems. If you don't let me kill tigers, it's perfectly all right. Please allow me to take a photograph with the tiger. Then it was fine." But the Tiger King refused that too. He says, "If I allow one, all the British officers will start coming to my kingdom for this. This cannot be allowed because tigers are a full property or private property or whatever property of the king, no one else." So, so to please the officer's wife, so he was in trouble because the high-ranking British officer went against the king and wanted to annex or take over that kingdom. And then he understood that something had to be done. So he, to please the officer's wife, he sent 50 diamond rings, expecting that she would take one or two instead. She kept all, and all that costed around 3 lakh rupees. And then the madam sent thanks to Maharaja, and Maharaja spent 3 lakh rupees, but the state was secured. You can imagine that the story is an old story when Britishers were in India, and at that time 3 lakh rupees was a huge amount. It is still a huge amount, but that time it was a huge amount which can only be borne by the Maharaja or the country, not by an individual. That sort of amount it was. So in 10 years, he killed 70 tigers and didn't find any in Pratibandhapuram. So he decided to marry a girl from royal state which had more tigers to complete. His target, what is the target was? 100 tigers. Whenever he visited his in-laws, he killed 5 to 6 tigers. So he planned a marriage, a royal marriage, and he married a girl whose kingdom had tigers. So whenever he went to his in-laws, he would kill 5 to 6 tigers so that his vow of killing 100 tigers could be realized. So he killed 99 tigers and was feverishly anxious to kill the 100th, but could not find news about the presence of the tiger near a village. Proved quite disappointing for him. You can see the trophies lying in his kingdom, in his palace of tigers. So he had trophies lying everywhere. He had killed 99 tigers, and few tigers he killed by shooting them. Some tigers uh, escaped the bullet, and they pounced on the king, and he killed them with hand-to-hand combat. So he was a powerful king. He was, you can say, really, really brave, but he was after something which is invincible, which is of no use. Now, the Diwan was warned of his danger, so he visited People's Park in Madras and brought an old tiger and placed it in the forest and informed the Maharaja, and the whole procession went to get that tiger. And the hunt was to be done for the 100th tiger. The Maharaja took great care and shot the tiger and left the place with great triumph. The bullet did not hit the tiger, but out of fear, the tiger had collapsed. Quite ironic that the bullet missed the tiger. The tiger collapsed because he was old. The tiger was old just for fear. And when the courtiers realized that the tiger was not killed by the king, and seeing the anger of the king, they killed the tiger themselves and brought it to the palace in royal procession. So time passed. Maharaja was very happy. The astrologer who had prophesied, of course, is dead now. So he was quite relaxed that yes, 100th tiger has been killed. So now he is started attending his family duties and other duties. Now, after a few years, one day, it was the third birthday of Maharaja's son, and he wanted to buy a present from the toy shop. So he goes to the toy shop and buys a wooden tiger, which was poorly carved. In fact, he just doesn't even pay much to the poor craftsman. He says that it is a royal gift from your side to the royal prince. So it was poorly carved. So what happened? While Maharaja was playing with the prince, a tiny sliver means a thorn, of wooden tiger pierced his right hand, which later on caused his death because it became a septic, and septic proved fatal for him. He bought a wooden toy tiger on his son's third birthday. Toy was made up of by unskilled carpenter. One of the slivers pierced his right hand, developed an infection. He was operated and died. Thus, the 100th tiger takes his final revenge upon the Tiger King. And there is quite an irony in this chapter. What is the irony? What is irony? Irony means contradiction. Anything which is contradictory to what is happening. So we have a dramatic irony here. Dramatic irony is when the readers, as readers, we know everything, but the characters don't know those things. The dramatic irony in the story is sharp when the Tiger King alone is unaware that his bullet had not killed the 100th tiger. The other characters and the readers anticipate his doom, and he celebrates his triumph over his destiny. We realized, of course, how misplaced the Tiger King's pride and killing the first tiger was. The Tiger King and his mission to kill 100 tigers because he had been told that his death will come from the tiger. Ironically, his death comes from a tiger, but a wooden toy tiger that he brought for his son. You can see he killed 99 tigers quite bravely, and he was killed by a wooden tiger. That is quite ironic. And there is a lot of humor in this story. Many instances evoke humor, which include his asking question as a 10 days infant to the astrologer about his death, his marrying for sake of getting more tigers to kill, as his state was devoid of tigers. Despite being a king, his sole aim is to kill 100 tigers, and due to that, he even risks his kingdom, suggesting the British officer to hunt a boar or deer or even a mosquito, but you can't kill a tiger. His gift of diamond rings and the British officer's wife greed present humor in the story. So, what was the story? He wanted to uh, please this British officer's wife by sending 50 diamond rings. She had kept all those diamond rings. Quite humorous, this story is. Then we talk about satire. The story is a Langdon satire on the self importance that people in power assume. The Maharaja, because of the prophecy that he would meet his death from the 100 tiger that he kills, shouted a warning to all the tigers. He justified the act of hunting tigers as self defense. This is quite a satire. The story is a satire on the conceit of those in power. The king is known to be extremely conceited person because he didn't think of anything else except his own self. He neglected his kingdom, he neglected his people. A little thing more, when he was unable to find the 100th tiger, he was really nervous. So when he found that one of the villages had tiger, he said, I will be cancelling the taxes of that village for 2 years. But when the tiger could not be found later, he doubled the tax of that village. Even fired few officers of high rank and low rank from his, you can say, court, who could not help him find the tiger. So such a conceited person the king was. So this is quite a satire on those who have power and they misuse their power. They don't do justice to the uh, throne or the chair they are on. They just don't do things properly for the welfare of people for which they are. Even today, it's like that. The politicians are there who are not helping the people. They are doing their own good, their own monetary benefits they are working for, nothing else. This is quite a satire for the aristocracy, still holds good. Thank you so much. I hope you've understood this chapter clearly, and some doubts, if there, you can still approach me. And then now, if you have questions, kindly ask. Is anybody having any question regarding this chapter? I hope you are able to understand me, hear me. सबको आवाज आ रही है?